Stop! Do not scold him for that face. You think he is saying, "I'm sorry." Please! Science says he is actually saying, "Please don't hurt me." Welcome to Chickapaws. We have all been tricked by this look, but leading behaviorists call this an appeasement signal, not guilt. He isn't thinking about the shoes he ate, he's reading your body language right now and trying to survive your anger. Let's fix this relationship before it breaks. Recognizing your dog's guilty look. We have all been there. You walk through the front door after a long day at work, keys in hand, expecting a happy greeting. Instead, you are met with silence, a suspicious silence. You walk into the living room, and there it is. The trash can is tipped over, coffee grounds are smeared on the rug, or perhaps your favorite pair of Italian leather shoes has been reduced to a pile of expensive slobber. And then you look at your dog. He is not jumping up to greet you. He is cowering in the corner, ears pinned back against his head, tail tucked so far between his legs it's practically invisible, and he is giving you those wide, sad whale eyes. It looks exactly like a confession, doesn't it? That face says, "I know what I did, and I am so sorry." This specific behavior is what we collectively call the guilty look. It is a phenomenon so universally recognized that if you search for "guilty dog" on YouTube right now, you will find millions of hits, videos of dogs hiding their faces or grinning nervously while their owners narrate the crime scene. It is hilarious, it is relatable, and it feels undeniably human. I used to laugh at these videos too, thinking, "Oh, look at him, he knows he messed up." But here's the part they don't tell you. The part that might actually make you feel a little guilty yourself. That look you were seeing, it might be the biggest lie in the history of interspecies friendship. What if I told you that you have been reading your best friend's face wrong this whole time? Why are we so convinced that our dogs are feeling a deep sense of moral regret? Well, it comes down to a psychological trap we all fall into called anthropomorphism. That's a fancy word for projecting human emotions onto animals. We treat them like our children, our confidants, and our family members, so it's only natural that we expect them to process the world the way we do. When a human child draws on the wall with a permanent marker and you catch them, they feel shame. They understand that they violated a social rule. So when we see our dog exhibiting that classic guilty look, the averted gaze, the lowered posture, our brain immediately maps that behavior to human shame. It feels like a deception because we believe they possess the same moral compass we do. We think, he knows he wasn't supposed to eat that sandwich, implying a level of complex reasoning that involves past, present, and future consequences. Leading animal behaviorists have pointed out that this projection is incredibly powerful because it reinforces our bond with them. We want to believe they are complex emotional beings just like us. But here's the kicker. By assuming they feel guilt, we're actually setting ourselves up for frustration. When we think they know better but did it anyway, we feel disrespected. We think, he did this to spite me. But what happened next in the research of canine cognition will surprise you and completely flip the script on that feeling of betrayal. This is where things get tricky and, honestly, a little heartbreaking. The trap of emotional misinterpretation is dangerous because it changes how we treat our dogs. Think about it. If you believe your dog is guilty, you feel justified in scolding them. You might say, "Bad boy," or point a finger at the mess, believing his submissive posture is his way of accepting that punishment. I remember yelling at my first dog for chewing up a remote control, and looking back, I cringe because I completely misread the situation. The guilty look is actually an appeasement response. It's not an admission of a crime, it's a reaction to the immediate threat in the environment. And guess what the threat is? It's you. Yes, you. When you loom over your dog, your voice drops an octave, your jaw tightens, and you start giving off angry predator energy. Your dog picks up on this instantly. They aren't reflecting on the remote control they destroyed 3 hours ago. They are reacting to the scary human standing in front of them right now. This misinterpretation creates a cycle where the dog becomes anxious and the owner becomes frustrated. Experts in animal psychology warn that punishing a dog based on this look is ineffective because the dog isn't connecting the punishment to the action. They're connecting the punishment to you. But hold on, because the science behind this is about to get even more fascinating. The truth, dogs don't feel guilt. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. According to the data, dogs do not feel guilt in the way humans do. Now, before you click away, let me explain. Guilt is a complex emotion. It requires a code of ethics, a memory of a past event, and a self-reflective judgment that I violated the code. That's a lot of heavy mental lifting. Dogs live very much in the moment. While they are incredibly intelligent and emotionally intelligent in their own right, they don't sit around contemplating the morality of shredding a couch cushion. The guilty look we see is actually an appeasement signal. This is a critical distinction. It's not about internal remorse, it's about external safety. I know it's a bold claim to say your dog doesn't feel bad about eating your birthday cake, but it's actually liberating. It means they aren't malicious, they aren't plotting against you, they're simply opportunists who love cake and hate conflict. This isn't just my opinion, it's backed by studies where researchers tricked owners into thinking their dogs had stolen food when they hadn't. The owners scolded the innocent dogs, and guess what? The innocent dogs showed the exact same guilty look as the guilty ones. This proves that the look is a reaction to the owner, not the action itself. But if they're not feeling guilt, what exactly is going on in that furry head of theirs? Dogs read consequences, not morals. If dogs don't have a moral compass pointing north toward "do not chew shoes," what do they have? They have an incredible ability to read consequences. This is the genius of canine survival. Your dog is a master of pattern recognition. He learns that trash on floor plus owner coming home equals yelling and bad vibes. He doesn't think, I was wrong to tip the trash. He thinks, oh no, the evidence of the fun time is here and the giant is making the angry noises again. They read the environment, and most importantly, they read us. They are reading consequences, not morals. I've seen this with my own dog. He'll happily dig a hole in the garden, tail wagging, completely proud of his work. But the second I walk outside and stiffen up, he drops to the ground. He's not sorry about the hole, he's sorry that the hole makes me act scary. This distinction is crucial for training. If we understand that they are just connecting dots between events and reactions, we can stop taking their misbehavior personally. We can stop saying he knows what he did, because frankly, he probably doesn't. He just knows you're upset. But where does this behavior come from? Why do they drop their ears and tuck their tail? The answer lies deep in their ancestral DNA. It is actually an appeasement response. To understand your golden retriever, you have to look at the wolf. Wolves in a wolf pack, conflict is dangerous. If you get into a fight, you could get injured, and in the wild, injury means death. So wolves developed a sophisticated language to avoid fights before they start. When a lower-ranking wolf upsets a higher-ranking wolf, they don't apologize. They perform an appeasement signal. They lower their head, avoid eye contact, tuck their tail, and make themselves look small. This translates to, I am not a threat, please don't hurt me. That's exactly what your dog is doing in your living room. The guilty look is literally a survival mechanism designed to diffuse your anger. It's their way of saying, peace, I come in peace. When we scold them while they're doing this, we're confusing them. They're waving a white flag and we're still attacking. It's heartbreaking when you realize that what you thought was a confession of guilt is actually a plea for safety. It shifts your perspective entirely, doesn't it? Instead of a naughty child caught in a lie, you see a creature trying desperately to speak your language and calm you down. But knowing this changes everything about how we should handle the next destroyed shoe. So, what do we do with this information? Does it mean we let them get away with murder? Of course not, but science reframes dog behavior in a way that makes us better, kinder owners. Once you accept that the guilty look is just an appeasement response, you stop punishing the look. You stop rubbing their nose in the mess, which, by the way, never works, and you start focusing on prevention and positive reinforcement. If you come home to a mess, realize that the moment for correction has passed. Your dog cannot connect your anger now with the action from 2 hours ago. Scolding them now only creates anxiety and erodes trust. It forces us to be the leaders they need. Instead of getting mad, we get smart. We manage their environment. We crate train. We reward the good stuff. By letting go of the guilty dog myth, you remove the emotional wedge between you and your pet. You are no longer the judge and jury, you are the teacher and the guardian. And trust me, your dog will thank you for it. So the next time you see those sad puppy eyes, don't assume he's admitting to a crime. Just take a deep breath, realize he's just trying to tell you he loves you and wants you to be happy, and maybe, just maybe, put your shoes in the closet next time. Remember, your dog doesn't need your forgiveness, he needs your leadership. Understanding this one shift on dog guilt prevents anxiety and builds trust. So, does your dog actually smile? Subscribe to Chickapaws to find out in the next video.